Hello all, and welcome to Wayne's Allotment. I'd like to start by thanking everybody for watching, subscribing, thumbs up, such like with the last video. The last video I did was the very first time I'd done any editing of anything, so I'm on a bit of a learning curve still with that, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping to be able to put more videos together so that rather than me showing you, like say in this video, me seed sowing, and then the next video you see those actual seeds, they turn out they're plants like this and I'm putting them out. I'm hoping I can take you through the process a little bit more detail, as long as I don't bore you all too much, of course. And I'd also like to thank you all for not pointing out my little bit of a boo-boo on my last video. Because on my last video I did say I was going to give you a plot tour, and I forgot to include it in the video. So we're going to start this video with a plot tour. You'll see me doing some planting on of some, or potting on of some seedlings. You'll see me sowing some seed. You see me sowing or planting my first lot of my early potatoes, and also I'll go on a little bit of a trip to a bit of a specialised garden centre. I did think it was, I don't know why, but I did think it was miles away, but it turns out basically that it's on my doorstep. So I've got that on this video. So get the kettle on, get yourself a brew, get comfy, get your feet up, and watch and hopefully enjoy this video. Right, just give you a quick plot tour. I've just been round here and top the bird feeders up. I always put a little bit on the top of there, and then my bench. Always just break up some suet balls and put a bit of feed on there for them. Strawberries. Last year these were little suckers put in pots. Once they were big enough to go round here, they've been put out and they've been fed about 3 times throughout the year with fish blood and bone, and I've removed flowers and runners each time just to let the plants get to a decent size. And I think you'll agree they're not bad. Garlic over here. What can I say? Doing nice. At the end, this bit of ground at the end there, I've put a few extra broad bean seeds in. There's 1 or 2 coming up, but it's time for them. Purple sprouting, I've been harvesting some of this as well while I've been around here. This bed, that's generally my bed for my sweet corn, and these 2 beds here with the covers and so on, they're going to have salad crops in them. The reason for that cover there is because I'm going to hopefully next couple of weeks put some spring onions out under that, so I want to make sure the ground's nice and warm and it's ready for them. Rest of the beds, not completely sure as to what I'm putting in then, but they will get rotated from what has been in them before, that's for sure. Now these are my broad beans here. These went out very early on. They were sown, in fact, let's have a look, 10th of the 9th last year they were sown, and they've been put out and they look a bit sorry for themselves, but they'll pick up. And again, I've put some seed in amongst them, so see how they go. Rhubarb, can't moan with that. That's good enough for a pick off that already. down here. Peas. I've got some peas under here. These are Calved Wonder. They went in, let's just have a look. I've got the tag here. These went in 19th of the 2nd this year. I've always found with Calved Wonder that you can put them out fairly early on and they seem to survive, so we're doing that again. The rest of the plot is all covered up, ready for various crops to go in. The top end there, along there, that's going to be my bean trench, or it is my bean trench, and it's been mucked, and it's covered up waiting. Down the back here, along there, I've got raspberry canes. They're coming along nicely. As I'm talking to you now, it is starting to rain. We've had sort of all 4 seasons in about 10 minutes here. Just a couple of minutes ago it just sleeting like crazy. Pear trees, as you can see, starting to come into bud, as is this one. This is an absolute mass of buds, so very pleased with them. But yeah, all in all, there's not really a great deal to show, but you know, it's St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to you Irish people out there. Don't overdo the Liffey water, will you, if you're going out for a beer or two. Right, there's nothing else really to show you. As I say, it's the time of year, so I'll leave you to it. Right, onions, or should I say spring onions. I've got some compost here with a little bit of vermiculite in it. I'll just do a couple of pots for now, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to clump them. I'm going to stick them into these pots. Let me just grab them from down here. The variety is White Lisbon, and what I'm going to do is lift these out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Let's have these. Well, there's 6. Let's go 7. Is 8. There we go. Well, then what I'll do is a bit of a hole. Pop them in. I don't know whether to cut the tops back of it actually. These will get watered once I put them. Well, actually they're going to stay back in the greenhouse here. We'll do another one. Seven there. I just want to get them, really, I just want to get them potted on. I'm going to have enough to do quite a few trays, but I just thought I'll show you what I'm doing. They'll then get watered, they'll get kept in the greenhouse here in a tray, and they'll get put out hopefully in the next couple of weeks with any luck. Right, these are some onions again, like the spring onion, but these are a variety called Bedfordshire Champion. I've just got a bit of compost and I'm mixing in a little bit of perlite. There is a little bit of vermiculite in with this because it's part of the same compost I was using with the spring onions. And what I'm going to do with this, obviously similar to the spring onions, but these will be 1 onion per pot. I'll just do a few, show you what we're doing, give you an idea. The onions are down here and I need to just split some of them up. Let's have a look. See, it's quite a decent root. Not a bad onion really there. So a little bit of a hole, make sure the root's well in. One onion done. Now I've got quite a few to do here, so I'm not going to bore you to death with doing the entire lot. I'll show you what I've done once I've got them all done. I wanted to do about a dozen of these. I might actually cut the tops off a little on these. We'll see. They're not going out onto the allotment just yet anyway. So there we go. They look a bit sorry for themselves, so I might just give them a bit of a haircut. Cut the tops off a little before I go too far, and then I'll show you how many I've done. As I say, I'm going to do about a dozen, so I'll show you them when I've finished. Right, there we go. That's the onions, Bedfordshire Champion. Just give them a bit of a haircut, nothing too drastic. They should have gone out a lot sooner really, because some of these, as you can see, look, they've got the 3 shoots as such. Some have only got the 2, but they should have been done a bit sooner. But I'm not bothering doing the spring onions. I'm going to leave them as they are. They're clumped in the pots as you saw, and they will go out on the plot just like that, so that I've actually got bunches of them. So next job is to sow some more spring onions to get just to get a bit of consistency in crops. Right, I've got a little bit of a thing to tell you about. Cutting a long story short, my wife and I ended up going over to David Austin Rose's at the weekend. She works with somebody that's quite a keen gardener, I believe, and we were both surprised at how close it is to where we live. I honestly, for some unknown reason, I don't know why, I honestly thought David Austin Rose's was somewhere like in Kent or Surrey or somewhere like that. I don't know why. Ask me another one. But when we found out that they're in Shropshire, which is just across the border from us, and we knew exactly where they were after I'd had a quick Google Earth. We went and had a look round. Now I'll admit this isn't the best time of year to go and look at roses. It's the end of March, or towards the end. It's the last week in March, and we went and had a look, and yeah, you know, at this time of year one rose plant looks very much like the other, but we wanted to go and have a look round, and I shall definitely go back later in the year when they're in flower, because it's going to be an absolutely awesome sight to see the amount of roses and all the, you know, all the flowers and so on. So I've got a little bit of a video, some clips and so on that I've put together as we walked round, and some photos and so on. So yeah, it was a bit of a Wayne's Allotment goes on tour around David Austin roses. But yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this. It's and it, as you'll see, it's definitely worth a trip back again to go and have a look when they're all out in flower. So enjoy this bit of a short clip that I've put together. potatoes. These are the last 2 buckets that I've got to do, and what I've done is in these tubs I've mixed some old spent compost with some fresh compost, and then decent handful pelletised chicken milk, mix that in good and proper. That's already had it mixed in, as you can see. I'll put it into there, and I'm putting 4 potatoes. The variety is Swift, so they're earlies. Now, as you can probably, where are you? As you can see there, all the little chits, I'm taking some of them off. If you have a lot of chits on a potato, you'll get a lot of small potatoes. You only have 1 on or 2, there's a fair chance of you getting bigger potatoes. But what I'm doing is I'm doing a bit of a mix. So we'll put that one in there. This one again, and if you can see, we'll take that off. We'll take that one off, and we'll leave those 2. There's 2 lots there. We'll leave them on. We'll then add a bit more compost, basically just covering those up. And as you can see, I've put 2 in the one way. Let's put a bit more compost on there. And now get another 2 potatoes. See, that one I'm going to leave as it is with all them 3 on. So they'll go in that side there. That one, that's got a good cluster, so I'll leave them on. That will go in there. And just a bit more compost. Cover these up. These are going out into my back garden. My greenhouses are in my back garden. So that's that one done. Now there you see we've got 4 chits. I'll leave them. I'm going to leave all those on that one. And then we'll cover them up. These will just be covered a little bit like this now. And then as they start to poke the head through, they will then get a bit more compost on them. These now then, don't know whether you can see, I'm going to take that chit off to leave those, and then that one, I can't see the I'm hoping you can see this because I can't see the viewfinder very well. I'm going to take them off there and then put them in there. And then, like I say, these will go outside in my back garden. Doing these 2 buckets here now will give me 10 buckets of Swift earlies. The plan is to do all, tidy up as I go along, look. The plan is to do all my potatoes this year in buckets. Last year wasn't a very good year at all, doing them in the ground, but it was a bit of an exceptionally hot summer, so that would have no doubt had something to do with it due to the weather. And that's it. These, as I say, these now, as they start to come through, just as they poke their head, they'll get covered until I get to about that level of compost, roughly sort of where the ring is there. These tubs, by the way, these are 35 litre bucket stroke pots, whatever you call them, what you like. Really sturdy, good strong handles. Some of these I've had about 5 years now already. I'll put a link in the description of the website that I get these from, because they're a fantastic company. They do all these sort of pots. They do your normal pot, shall we say, 3 inch, 4 inch, all that sort of thing. They do these in, I think they do them up to something like about 200 litre size if you wanted, and the delivery is just brilliant. I think, in fact, I've just noticed something. I don't know whether you can see it, but on there is the delivery address label for the last batch that I've had, and they're from scottplantsdirect.co.uk is the website. But again, as I say, I'll put a link, or put the link in the description, and you can pop along and have a look. And no, I've not got an axe to grind either way. I don't work for them, but I do believe that if you find something that you're happy with, then let the rest of the world know about it. Simple as that. So there we have it. That's the spuds done, or the earlies. The next lot to do will be out on the plot, and that will be some Albert Bartlett rooster and some Sarpomera. I've only got about 10 Sarpomera potatoes. I'm planning on putting about 3 in a bucket, and the Albert Bartletts will be done exactly the same as this, and I think that will give me about, I think I've got enough potatoes to give me about 10 buckets, I think, of those. So right, I'll leave you to it. Right, in the greenhouse I'm going to do some courgettes, and the variety I'm doing, you see that variety called Sure Thing. It's Thompson and Morgan celebrating 2019, the year of the vegetable. Why that is I don't know, but still. So I've got some pots I'm going to use here for the job. I've got the compost, and I've got a little bit of perlite mixed in with that, so that I'll just get that into the pots. Just a bit of normal general multi-purpose compost. In fact, to be honest, it's from Wyvale Garden Centre. I've used it in the past, always found it pretty good. It's just one of those things that I think we all have our own favourites. Right, let's see how many seeds we get. What does it say? Does it give you 6 seeds average? Right, so I think it's only going to be a case of using 2 pots if that's the case. Yeah, I know there isn't many seeds. There we go. Right, so we'll use these 2 pots, I think, for that. So just push them in. Like so. Make sure they're covered up. I'll give them a bit of a watering as well. I should try these in different. There we go. I've pushed some in with the seed, with the little bottom, the flat end down. Some of them I've got it one side. So good old label on that. Give those a bit of a drinkies. They'll stay in the greenhouse here. Well, maybe not this greenhouse, they might go in the other greenhouse. I've got some shelving where I can put them in that greenhouse, but I might put them in here, I don't know yet. We will see. There we go. So that's those done. Next job that I'm looking at doing is I'm going to sort out, I'll empty that, I'm going to sort out with doing some more spring onions, but I'll do those, well, I'll show you how I do those, because I'll do those in cells. So next job on, spring onions. I'm doing a variety called ramrod. This process, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these little, well, it's actually partly cut down from a larger tray. This was about the size of a standard 12-inch seed tray. Again, multi-purpose compost. Just gently firm down, nothing too excessive, and then little dip in each one, because I'm going to sow these as a bunch, to do them as like a bunching onion. They're not going to be sown in a row or anything like that. I've stopped doing that nowadays, because when I was going around the allotment and picking onions, getting a row, I was only taking certain ones out of a row, and I've found it easier to do it this way. Just do them in a bunch. So I'm going to just fill these in a bit. I think I might have just made these a bit too deep. And just make it more of a smaller indentation. And just get about 6 or 7 onions or seeds in each indentation. There we go. And there's absolutely loads left for doing a lot more continuation of sowing. I'm going to do a bit of an experiment with these. I've covered those up with compost as they are. The rest I'm going to cover with a little bit of vermiculite, I think. Let me just get over here and grab some vermiculite. I'll just do a bit of an experiment. I've seen Nigel Muddy Boots do this, so I thought it's good enough for him, it'll be more than good enough for me. So give these a bit of a watering. Again, these will stay in the greenhouse, although part of me is thinking about putting them in the propagator for a day or two, to be honest. I might, in fact I think I might do that, is put them into the propagator. Yes, I think we'll go down that route. And there we go, spring onion, ramrod, that's those done. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll definitely go back later in the year to David Austin roses, especially now I know it's on my doorstep. Next video, I don't know when I'm going to post it. It's going to have something a little different in it. Let's just say that there'll be some seed sowing and some potting on, no doubt, but there's also going to be I'm going to bring you up to speed, make you aware of a, shall we say, a dormant passion, dormant interest, whatever that I've got. That's on the next video. So again, thank you all very much for commenting and subscribing and just viewing the videos. Really, it's very much appreciated. I've really got a renewed interest now that I can start and edit videos. Really, it's really sparked me on to want to produce some more. So until next time, thanks a lot, and I'll see you again.